Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. So, as we all know, my name is Barine Godspar, and I'm going to be the anchor of today's session. So, before I start, I would like to appreciate, I would like to appreciate our mentor for this opportunity to share from my understanding, to share what I understood, and to share from the little experience I have in this mentorship session. So, and I also like to thank him for the past sessions, for all he has poured onto us, despite his busy schedules. We've tried to come up with mentorship sessions and teach us, mentor us on this career path. So, I want to really appreciate you. So, it's a privilege to have someone like you who is willing to pour out knowledge and also to give us the platform to learn. So, I've actually been reflecting on all we've done for the past previous sessions, and I've gotten to realize that knowledge is actually powerful, but it is not enough. Knowledge is not enough. What is more powerful is the knowledge that we apply, is the application of that knowledge. And many persons out there who are intelligent, they've not been able to maximize their full potential because they're not prepared when opportunities come. They've not applied this knowledge, and because they've not applied the knowledge, opportunities come and they found out that they are not prepared enough for these opportunities. And that's why I chose today's topic. So the topic today is fitting into opportunities. So that's the topic. I'll say it again: fitting into greater opportunities. Not looking for, that's preparing ourselves for the future. Fitting into greater opportunities and preparing ourselves for the future. So it's not just about today's discussion is not about becoming the kind of professional that will have to be chasing opportunities. It's more about getting or becoming professionals that opportunities naturally look for. So we all know the meaning of opportunity. An opportunity is more like a favorable circumstance that allows someone to make progress or achieve something greater. So it's not just about looking for a good job. It's not just about getting a promotion. It's not just about getting a slot or winning a competition or getting a slot to participate in an international competition. So opportunity is more about a favorable situation or a favorable condition whereby you are being allowed, where someone is allowed to make progress and to achieve something great. It might be in a particular sphere currently or in a particular position, and we want something greater. We want to grow into a greater phase of our career. We want to grow into a greater phase of whatever we are doing currently. So an opportunity actually is that favorable circumstance that will occur that would allow you to make that progress that you've been seeking for a very long time. So today's discussion is going to be revolving around some principles, 7 principles. Now, these principles, some of them are from our previous session our mentor has taught us about. I'm going to be building on some of them, and I'm also going to be chipping in some other things that I actually understand about building and positioning for opportunities. So it's going to be revolving around 7 principles, and I target 7 principles for fitting into greater opportunities. So I'm just going to list out the 7 principles, then I'm going to explain them one after the other. So the first principle here is the principle of preparation. Now, opportunities actually favor prepared people, the principle of preparation. The second principle is the principle of capacity building. The third principle is the principle of character. Character opens doors. Now, the fourth principle is the principle of continuous learning. The fifth principle is the principle of strategic relationships. The principle of strategic relationships. The sixth principle is the principle of excellence. The principle of excellence. And the seventh one is the principle of resilience. Now, these 7 principles, I've gotten to understand that these principles are things that helps one to become successful and grounded in whatever sphere that they find themselves in. These principles, many people will not have to see it. Many people will not have to see that you're applying these principles, but it is something that makes one to be grounded. It is something that makes you to fit into whatever position that you want. So these are the 7 principles of preparation, principle of capacity building, the principle of character, continuous learning, strategic relationships, principle of excellence, the principle of resilience. So I'm going to be starting with the first one, the principle of preparation. The principle of preparation. Now, this principle states that opportunities meet prepared people, that opportunities are going to favor those persons who are prepared. That's what this first principle is saying. Now, preparation is actually invincible. Nobody celebrates it. Nobody sees what is going on behind the scene. What people celebrate is the result. It is the results that people celebrate. People are not going to see the months of preparation, like this mentorship we've been doing for the past months now. Nobody sees the preparation that is behind. Nobody sees the sessions we've been having, the personal developments we've been having. All people are going to see is the results of this mentorship session. So nobody sees what is going on behind the scene. People see the results. People see the outcome. For instance, David and Goliath in the Bible, when David killed Goliath, everybody saw the battle. Everybody saw everybody saw his defeat. Everybody saw how he defeated Goliath, but nobody saw the years when he was shepherding the sheep. Nobody saw the years he has been taking care. Nobody even saw the bear he killed when he was trying to protect his father's sheep. Nobody saw it. All people saw was the battle and how he defeated Goliath, but they didn't see the years of preparation. They didn't see the years of preparation. Even when he went to minister to the king Saul, nobody saw it. All they saw was preparation. So this also applies to us professionally. Nobody's going to be seeing the mentorship. Nobody's going to be seeing your years of preparation, the years you were struggling, the years you were trying to acquire skills and to acquire knowledge that is going to help you to get the current position or to become a better version of yourself. Nobody sees it. Nobody applauds it. But so many people are going to see the results. So many people are going to see the outcome. So many people are going to they might even applaud the result, but they don't see the preparation, what goes on behind the scenes. So it is very important that we prepare ourselves for responsibilities. It is when we prepare ourselves, that is when we can be able to fit in, so that when the opportunities come, we can be able to fit into these opportunities. There were times, let me share a story. There were times where I was supposed to fit into an opportunity. I was supposed to get a role, but because I was not prepared enough for that role, I didn't get it. So that is more like telling you that opportunities will definitely come. Opportunities are everywhere, but opportunities will meet prepared people. Opportunities are looking for those people who are prepared. So that's it about the principle of preparation. So the second principle is the principle of capacity building. The principle of capacity building. We have to build capacity before seeking position. We have to build capacity. So many people actually pursue positions, but success has a way of finding people that has all-round capacity. Success has a way of finding people that are ready to fit in that position, who have capacity enough to fit in. That is what opportunities are looking for. So capacity is you being able to consistently deliver. When you have the capacity, you will be able to deliver whenever you're being called upon. Now, an example, there's this interview that went viral. I don't know if we saw it. There's this interview that went viral. We saw it. The interview of Adetokunbo Rhodes. Yeah, Adetokunbo Rhodes, when she was interviewed by the School of Health. Yeah. Now, so when I didn't just watch that interview, when I was watching her, I did not just listen to the amount of money she has, or the amount of money she said she manages. Something that struck me from the video was how she was able to present herself, how she was able to speak, how she was able to present her numbers, how she was able to explain what she does. You will know that that person, yes, knows what he or she is doing and has the idea, has the understanding of what he or she is doing. So you can see that opportunities will actually meet those persons who have the capacity enough. You could see that she has the capacity of public speaking. She could speak, she could express herself, she could call the numbers whenever time she's being called about. That just shows someone that has the capacity, and she will not fall. There are some people that would have that opportunity, but they will not be able to speak up. There are some people that would have that kind of interview, or they will be called on our way. They will not be able, because they don't have the capacity to get into that position. So capacity building is very important as professionals, as young professionals, as people who are looking forward to fit into opportunities. We have to build capacity so that we can be able to fit in. Let me also give another example. For instance, let's say there are two people who applied for a particular role. Now, these people that applied for a particular role, one of them, they were given the date of the interview. One of them began to prepare, began to build skills, began to build his communication skills, his presentation skills, while the other one just focused on the question and answers that he was going to be getting from the interview. That was what the second person focused on. Now, when the interview comes, we know that definitely it is the person who has built skills, who has prepared, who has built enough capacity that is going to get into that position. So people are actually looking for those persons who can fit into spaces, who are valuable, who has something to offer, who are strong enough, who has the capacity to offer whatever they want, who have the capacity to get the job done. That is what people are looking for. So as professionals, as young, especially being in the finance industry, we have to understand that we need to build capacity, enough capacity to handle people, to handle clients, and all that. So that's the second principle, the principle of capacity building. Now we have the third principle, which is the principle of character. The principle of character. Character opens doors that competence alone will not be open to. This is a very important principle. The principle of character is a very, very important principle. Now, I saw a post on social media. I saw a post on social media about it. It was a HR personnel that shared this post. He said there were two coppers who came, and the NYC tenure was almost going off. So they were like, they want to retain one person, and one of them had a very good character. One of them would come to the office, was jovial, would greet everybody, would relate, has good personal and interpersonal skills, relationship skills, and so on and so on. But the other person knows how to deliver her job very well. She delivers the job without delay and everything, but she is rude. Actually, yes, that's the word. She's rude, and the HR personnel was like, okay, they had to retain the person who had a good character, who was relatable, who was able to communicate and all. So we can see that character is very, very, very important, especially in our industry. People want to trust you. People want to, because we are in the finance industry, people would not give their money to people they don't trust. People want to put their money in the hands of people they trust. For instance, they are giving you their money, and they want to be sure that you will be able to deliver. Whenever they call up, you can be able to meet your obligations. You can be able to meet your monetary and your financial obligations when these people call you forth. So people want to trust you. If you are a bank, for instance, they want to be sure that your bank can deliver. You can give them financial advice when necessary. They want to trust you. They want to be sure that you have a track record of a good character and of integrity. Integrity is very, very important. Nobody would want to work with someone that is dishonest. Let's say, for instance, First Bank is a financial institution, and people know First Bank of Nigeria to be a bank that does not deliver, or that does not meet their long-term opportunity, their obligations. that did not meet their obligation. Let's say a person would put their money into the bank and with the expectation of coming back 2 months and 3 months later to come and take their money. But after that period of time, First Bank say, oh, we can't give you the money now. We will have to come back. So and this has happened over and over and over again. People would not want to go with First Bank because they are not competent enough. The character that they exude is not good enough. So people want to trust you. We are in the finance world. We are in the finance industry. Any career, people would put their money in the hands of people they trust. People would get advice from people they trust. So integrity is not optional. It is a necessity for us. It's a necessity for everyone. So you can also imagine it's someone that is technically brilliant, but the person is dishonest. Nobody would want to work with, even three of us that are in this room, we would not want to work with someone that is dishonest. We will not want to work. It's good because it's going to be difficult to trust to them. So in our industry, as people who are wanting to fit to opportunities, we must be able to have a track record of good character. Must be able to have a track record of good character. People should be able to trust us. People should be able to trust us. People should be able to ask, oh, do you know about this person? Does this person have a good track record of integrity? Integrity is something we must not joke with, especially in our industry, in the finance industry. So that's it about the principle of character. The principle of character is very, 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 very important when it comes to fitting into opportunities. There are some opportunities that would have to look at your track record. And I believe that's the reason why companies, before they employ people, they would want to know your experience. They want to know where you've worked. Now, I believe they're asking that question because they want to know. They want to be able to track you. They want to be able to track you. They want to say, okay, you worked here. How was your operations here? How was your line of work? Were you able to deliver? Do you have a good character? Was there any time that this happened or this happened? So the principle of character is very important. We must learn to build integrity. This is what I've been able to understand, and our mentor has also been emphasizing this character in our place of work and so on and so forth. So that's the principle of character. And the next principle, the fourth principle we spoke about, is the principle of continuous learning. The principle of continuous learning. Learning never ends. There's a saying that the day we stop learning is the day we start dying. The industry is changing every year. Our industry is changing every year. We can see the emergence of AI, the emergence of technology, and so on and so forth. When AI came, they told us, oh, AI is going to take jobs. AI is going to take job technology. There's a time where we saw that technology was already taking the jobs of customer services in the banks, where it is now a robot that is handling paychecks. It's this robot that is handling the customer complaints and all that. So when they say technology is going to be taking over the jobs of people, it's not necessarily going to be taking over the job of those people who fit in. It is the people who has refused to learn about it, who has refused to incorporate it into their daily activities, into their job. Those are the people who these technologies are going to be taking. So as people who are growing, we should never stop learning, because we will become irrelevant if we stop learning. As professionals, we will become irrelevant the moment we stop learning. We've heard of AI. AI has come. What we should be thinking of is, how can we incorporate AI into our daily job routine? How do we incorporate AI into our task to make it deliver our task easier and faster? How are we going to be able to do this? So that is the principle of continuous learning. We should never stop learning, because the finance industry is vast. It is changing. So many things are happening. Fintechs are taking over. Now currently, people will not want to put their money if they are not seeing the amount of money they have in their apps. That is the fintech. So the place is evolving. Things are changing. So that's the principle of continuous learning. That's the principle of continuous learning. So we have the fifth principle. The fifth principle is the principle of strategic relationships. The principle of strategic relationships. Relationships is a capital. Relationship is actually a capital. It's not just money. Capital is not just money. Capital is not just finance. It's not just the finances to start up a business. Capital has to do with, there are so many other forms of capital, and relationship capital is one of the most important forms of capital, because sometimes opportunities will not come because of what we know. Opportunities will not come because of what we know. Opportunities will actually come because someone is somewhere, someone sees what we can do, someone believes in what we can do. So there are situations whereby you can be very good, but nobody knows that you can do such things. Nobody can bet it. Nobody can say, oh, I know this person will deliver, this person can do this person can do this person can do that. If that is not available, then it is going to be very, very, very difficult. It is going to be very, very difficult for us to fit into opportunities. So we must be able to build strategic relationships. All of us have people we want to be like. We have people we want to be like. We have a lot of people we want to learn from. So we should not just, we necessarily not want to associate with people because of what they have to give to us, but because of the value we can get from them. And we have to build value for ourselves too, because some of these people in this capacity, they like people with value, they love people with value, they would want to relate with people who have something to offer. They would not want to relate with people who just wants to take. They would want to relate with people who has something to offer. So that's it. We have to be able to build strategic relationships with people. So, and another example, let's say we have some people who want to be like, we have some people who want to connect to, we have people who we admire, people we admire. So we cannot just sit in our houses or at a particular place and expect to build relationships. It has to do with us being available at some place at some particular time. Being available, we hear that, oh, this is happening in our event, this is happening in a particular place, this event is happening. We can go to such events and connect and build relationships, because in the finance industry especially, there are lots of professionals we can learn from. There are lots of people who are doing amazing things, and the only way we learn, and the way we grow in this finance industry, in this space, is by building these relationships with these people, connecting with them, learning from them, rubbing minds together, getting to understand concepts from each other. This person works in this part of finance, this person works in this part of finance. We can learn from each other, and that is where networking comes in. Networking doesn't end with just collecting business cards. It doesn't just end with collecting the card of the person or just going for events. This is why we need to build the communication skills, because it's one thing to meet someone, it is one thing to build and sustain the relationship with someone. This is why communication skills is also very important. So strategic relationships is one principle that we must never joke with. Building strategic relationships, this is a principle that helps a lot of people, can take a lot of people far. I believe maybe some of us are working and might not be able to attend some events. There's, in our spare time, we can try to fix out time and go out. Be in rooms that where people we admire, people who would want to be like, are in, and we build strategic relationship. That is the principle of strategic relationship. Then we have the principle of excellence, which is the sixth principle. The principle of excellence. Now, excellence has to become our identity. Excellence has to become our identity. So we must, since we are working in finance, since we are people whom people would want to trust, we have to be able to maintain a track record of excellence. People love excellence. There's a saying, someone said he would actually pay someone ₦1 million to do it perfectly than to pay an amateur. He would rather pay a professional ₦1 million to do the job perfectly well than to pay an amateur 50,000 or 10,000 naira and get a job that is not properly done. So we have to constantly give in our best. We have to maintain a track record in our places of work where we are working currently. We need that track record of excellence. There are some people that will not work with people who don't have a track record of excellence. When we are working with our clients, when we speak to our clients in our various offices, our various fields, we have to maintain that track record of excellence. That is what will make you exceptional. That is what will make people want to do business with you. So we have to leave a track record. If we are working, let's say we want to transition into the next phase of our life in the next 2 years. Let's say you are currently working in a particular place, and we have the goal of moving or transitioning to the next phase of your life. We should be able to get a track record, so that when we leave, the people can be like, oh, when this person was here, this happened. When this person was here, this happened. When this person was here, this happened. These and many more. We must learn how to leave a track record. When a client reaches out to us, we should be able to deliver effectively and on time. Effectively and on time. Excellent results. People want excellent results. So many people are out there. Opportunities will not meet people who have not excellently, or who have not been able to do some things perfectly well. So while continuously learning, while we are learning continuously, while we are building relationships, we must maintain excellence in whatever we find ourselves doing currently. That is what is going to boost our credibility, and that is what is going to boost our competence in this world, in the career world. So when opportunities come, we'll be able to fit in, because whenever they check our track record, whenever they check where we are coming from, whenever they check what we have done in the past, all they could see is excellence. All they could see is excellence. So people who are exceptional are always remembered. People want to work with exceptional people. People want to work with people who are excellent. People want to work with people who offer, or who do their things absolutely well and beautifully. And those are the people that are remembered. Those are the people that will be remembered when they leave. Those are the people that will be remembered in any phase or any sphere of their life. So that is it about the principle of excellence. We have mentioned 5 principles. Now I've spoken about the principle of preparation, the principle of capacity building, the principle of character, the principle of continuous learning, the principle of strategic relationships, and the principle of excellence. Now I'm going to be speaking about the 7th principle, which is the principle of resilience. The principle of resilience. This principle actually resonates with me so much, because I'm actually currently in a phase where it feels nothing is working. As a young graduate, there are so many times where the applause was loud when you were graduating, but after some period of time, everything just goes silent. Everything just goes silent. But what will keep us going is resilience. There are times where our career growth feels so slow. There are times where our growth feels slow. Let's say we want to transition into the next phase of our career, but it is so slow. We have to be resilient. So preparation is always not easy. It's also always not easy to get some certain kinds of results. Sometimes opportunities may delay. Sometimes the plans may change. But we must be able to follow. We must be able to keep showing up. We must be able to keep showing up. That is what distinguishes successful people. That is what makes successful people stand out. Because even the people we admire today, the people we want to be like today, the people we see doing amazing things today, they did not just get there. They didn't just get there. Those people did not just get there. They had times where they were down. They had times where they could not even do some certain things, but they were resilient. They decided to stay true to whatever they are doing. So we should learn to be resilient. Resilience is another principle that is very important. Let's say we are working in a particular firm now, and it's been a while. We've been seeking promotion, and so on and so forth. We have to be able to learn. This period where we are waiting, that is when we need to begin to prepare. While we are waiting, while we are trying to build, while we are trying to wait for these opportunities to come, we have to be resilient. And in our resilience, we have to be preparing. We have to be preparing in our resilience. Many professionals has experienced setbacks. There are many professionals. Today we look at so many successful people in the industry. Look at so many people who have been successful. When they sit to share their story with us, it is them who would be able to understand that this person was really doing a whole lot of work. This person has done a lot, has gone down behind the scene. A lot has gone down behind the scene. But we actually did not see this. We actually do not see these things that are happening behind the scene. All we see is their results. They would come out and they will not share what has been happening. They won't share their challenges. All they share is their results. All they share is the successes. But behind these successes are years of sweat. Behind the successes are years that so many things they've been trying, they've been failing, they've been trying, they've been failing, they've been doing a whole lot of things, and they've not been able to achieve. But resilience was the key. Resilience was the key. So we have to use the period for growth and preparation. We have to use this period, the period where we are waiting, we have to use it for growth and preparation. So this principle is very important. This principle is very, like I said earlier, this principle resonates with me so much, because it feels, this current phase of my life feels like nothing is happening, and we just have to keep showing up. I believe there are people here who also will be wanting to go into different phases of their career, but different things has been happening. So resilience is another key. So this mentorship has actually expanded my knowledge, has made me to understand that learning is beyond the degree, has made me to understand, has challenged me to think beyond just earning a certificate, has made me to understand that it is not just about the certificate, but it is about intentional learning. We have to be intentional when it comes to preparation. We have to be intentional when it comes to learning. We have to be intentional when it comes to achieving excellence. We have to be intentional when it comes to learning, when it comes to building relationships, when it comes to character, when it comes to building integrity as professionals. When it comes to building integrity as professionals, we have to be able to build ourselves so well, so that when these opportunities come, opportunity will come but once. So we have to build consistently on these things. So this mentorship has actually been, our mentor has always been making us understand that we need to be able to build, we need to be able to maintain a track record of excellence in our previous sessions. Like I said, all I was going to be doing was to build on some of the things he has taught us, and then I would just try to put in my knowledge, the little I understand, and from my own little experience also. So these 7 principles are called principles. These 7 principles are called principles. These are principles we should never joke with. These are principles that are backing so many successful people that I've gotten to realize. I've gotten to realize that if we look at people who have been successful, if we look at people who have a track record of excellence, they have so many principles that they put into practice. They have so many principles that they put into plan, that they put into action. So as in conclusion, why we conclude, we have to understand that it is not just about getting opportunities, but we have to ask ourselves a question. If this opportunity comes currently, are we going to be able to fit into these opportunities? When these opportunities come, can we fit in? When these opportunities come, can we fit into these opportunities when they come? So it's not just about preparing. We have to continuously grow. We have to keep growing, and we must also understand that the opportunities that we are desiring, they're actually looking for those persons who are prepared. The opportunities we desire, the opportunities we seek, the opportunities we look for are looking for those persons who are prepared. So we should ask ourselves a question: if the opportunity comes the way I am, if the opportunities come, these are questions I've been asking myself, and this is what makes me to develop myself every day, and I'm grateful for this mentorship. We should ask ourselves every day, when these opportunities come, can I fit in? Will I be able to fit in into this opportunity if it comes? Will I be able to fit into these opportunities if it comes? So these principles are very important. We have to continuously grow. We have to keep learning. We have to keep building our character. We have to keep doing so many things. We have to keep developing our competence. We have to keep serving with excellence. We have to keep developing ourselves. There are some places, even if people like us who have not gotten the opportunity yet to work in professional spaces, we can serve, we can volunteer, we can serve in different places, in different capacities. And while we are serving in these capacities, we should serve with a track record of excellence. Let people know that, when this person was with me, this is how easy he could do this task, this is how well he or she could do it, so that when the opportunities come, we will not be struggling to qualify. So that when these opportunities come, build on these principles, when we try to imbibe them into our culture, into our daily routine, we'll find out that when these opportunities come, we will not be struggling to fit into these opportunities. We will not be struggling to fit into these opportunities when the opportunities eventually come our way. So we just have to continue learning and continue building. So this is all about my session. I want to thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity to teach, and I really, really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir, for the platform. I'm glad and grateful. Thank you, sir.